Well, hello there, my friends. Welcome to Enriched Lives, where you're worthy, you're blessed, and you are a creator. That's right. You're worthy, you're blessed, and you are a. Hello, I'm Brother Charles, and we have another fantastic topic for discussion for today. But before we get into our discussion, let me say this to you. If today is the day that you arrived upon the planet, happy birthday to you. That's right. Happy birthday to you. Why? Because you are somebody. God's been making it jump, my friend. So don't let anybody say that you're not good enough. You just some accident or something. No, you came here by design. You're here on purpose. You are somebody. That's right. That's right. So remember, again, God been making it jump. So if today is the day that you arrived upon the planet, happy birthday to you. That's right. We have discussions on various topics, and today is no different. We have another fantastic topic for discussion today. And that, my friends, is internal boundaries. That's right. Internal boundaries. That's right. A boundary is a line, a thing, something that says, that brings forth a limit. You can't cross it. This is a boundary. This is a line. Men make boundaries in territories, and okay, this belongs to this nation and that belongs to the other nations. Boundaries. Are they good to have? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So our discussion is going to come out of the book of Acts as a building block for us to make this discussion on the internal boundaries. Now, Acts 5:29. Acts 5:29. And it reads as thus. It reads as thus. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than man. We ought to obey God rather than man. Very interesting, isn't it? See, you're going to have some boundaries. You're going to have some internal boundaries within yourself in order to understand who you are, to bring forth clarity as to your position on certain deals and philosophies and ideologies that are going to come your way. Individuals that don't have any boundaries just go with the wind. They're blown to here and there and do anything, and they end up getting into trouble. They do. So it's very good to have boundaries. We like to build our discussion on biblical foundations and principles, and today is no different. So internal boundaries, the boundaries that you have within, my friend, this is what we're talking about. Here we see the apostles answering a question that was presented to them. Here's a situation, but this couldn't be answered without what? Some type of boundary. See, no, we can't go over there. Why? Because we are setting ourselves, we are designed to obey God rather than men. We have a boundary that we're not going to step across. See, that's very interesting, isn't it? Your mother will tell you, say, don't go over there. Stay away around that place. That's don't steal. Don't do this. See, what they're doing is they're setting boundaries for you to stay within the parameter of what's going to be good for you. See, most people don't have any boundaries set up. I hear people saying, no shame in my game, meaning what? They'll do anything, just do anything. There's no shame. You ought to have some type of boundary. Say, hey, I don't do certain things. See, boundaries identify who you are. They tell you exactly what you are. Very interesting, isn't it? Because if we don't have any boundaries, we can't have any clarity. See, you have to know where you are on certain things. See, and someone wants you to go out there and steal something. You say, no, I don't do that. Why? We have a boundary within. We don't steal because that is one of the boundaries that we have within. See, you have to be clear as to what you can do and what you can't do, what you will allow and what you won't allow. We teach people how to what? Treat us. We do. We do. So this is because of the boundaries that we have in our lives. If you don't have any boundaries in your life, my friend, you just do anything. This wrong is just get caught up in anything. Now, I'm not saying that you not to be open-minded, but I'm saying that there have to be boundaries in your life, my friend. Let's look at some individuals that had boundaries in their lives. There were biblical individuals that had boundaries in their lives. Very interesting, isn't it? Because here's an individual by the name of David. David had some boundaries in his life that he was true to God. In spite of all the crazy things that he did, there were some boundaries that David would not go over. Very interesting, isn't it? Because, oh yeah, he went out there and had Uriah killed and took his wife and everything. Yeah, but there was a boundary that David would not go and say. What does it say? David had 3 times he could have killed. He could have just wiped Saul out, could have killed this man. He said, but I will not touch the Lord's anointed. Very interesting. That's the internal boundary, my friend. That's a boundary. He says, no, I can't go over there. I won't do that. See, why? Because that's a boundary. That's a boundary that he established within himself, that he would not touch the Lord's anointing. In other words, I'm not going to do anything that's going to be detrimental to me. I just believe that if I do something to this man to try to enter into power, then I will have gotten out of bounds. See, I will have broken this boundary that's within me. Very interesting, isn't it? Here's another individual by the name of Job. Job had a boundary. He had boundaries that he would not go across. He said every day he would go and make some type of sacrifice to appeal for his children. He lost everything. His wife said, why don't you just curse God and die? That's what she told him. And Job, here's this guy. Job was laying up there, no. Though he slay me, yet will I what? Love him. Why? This was an internal boundary that Job had established with him. He said, no matter what God does to me, I am going to be true to the Creator. That's very interesting. Most people are not established boundaries. See, if there are no clear boundaries within you, my friend, nobody else can understand what your boundaries are. See, you have to be clear on your own boundaries. There are certain things that we do, certain things we won't do. Don't let anybody take you from the boundaries that you've established within yourself. See, to thine own self, what? Be true. Very interesting, isn't it? I see individuals get caught up in political parties and everything, and they go away from what they say that they believe and get caught up in a lot of rhetoric and putting other individuals down and hating on people because they have gotten out of bounds. In sporting events, that's very interesting because sporting events, they have guidelines, they have rules and regulations, then they have boundaries within the parameter that the game is to be played in. So when you get out of bounds, then it's not good. So they have boundaries established in sporting events, see. So when the ball goes out of bounds, see, there's a boundary there. So you and I have to understand that we have boundaries established in our life that we have to really take here and understand what are our boundaries, what are our mental boundaries, what am I thinking about, what are the internal boundaries that I have set up within my life to do. See, it's very interesting that you as an individual must understand that you should have what? Boundaries within your life. It brings forth a very interesting concept here, that of integrity, see. Integrity comes out of boundaries that you have established in your life. See, certain things, when you tell somebody you're going to do something, you do it, you're doing what? You're letting them know that you're within the integrity of the boundaries that you have within your life that you set up. So therefore, we have to be very careful. No, I don't answer certain things real rapidly because you have to give some thought to what we're going to say. Is this going to be detrimental to me? Is it going to be detrimental to someone else? See, you are asking me to do something, but if it's not within the boundaries that I have established within my life, then I will not respond to it. Very interesting, isn't it? This is what life is all about. You have to have boundaries, my friend, within your life to bring forth clarity. And when you are clear as to what you stand for, when you are clear within, nobody else can deceive you. Why? Because you have boundaries. Saying, hey, I can't do that. That's against my belief. That's against the concept that I've been taught. See, I was told not to steal. I was told not to kill. So these are boundaries that we have within our lives that we have to understand. So it's very important that you and I understand as individuals that we have to have certain boundaries. So now, my friends, until next time, this is Brother Charles with Enriched Lives, wishing you love, joy, peace, and happiness. And may you, my friend, tell someone else about this. And remember, we thank you for taking the time out of your schedule and establish some boundaries within your life so that you will live your life in a more effective manner. And tell someone else about this. Until next time, you be blessed, my friend.